हरे कृष्णा। तो हम अब वी विल स्टार्ट विद राधा माधव एंड देन चैंटिंग द हरे कृष्णा मंत्र। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा
राधा माधव
कुंज
कुंज बिहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन
कृष्ण
वल्लभ
वल्लभ
गिरिवरधारी। यशोधनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोधनन्दना
गोदानन्दना
व्रज जनरञ्जना।
व्रजगानरञ्जना
यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा
तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा
तीरा
वनचारी।
वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय
जय
राधा
राधा
माधव
माधव
कुंज बिहारी।
बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna,
कृष्ण कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare,
हरे राम
Hare Rama,
हरे
Hare Rama,
राम
Rama
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
हरे।
Hare,
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
हरे हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
राम
Rama
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
हरे।
Hare,
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा
Krishna,
हरे
Hare Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्ण हरे
Hare
हरे।
Hare,
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
राम
Rama
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
हरे।
Hare,
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे
Hare
हरे।
Hare,
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
राम
Rama
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
हरे।
Hare,
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Chandra Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Chandra Shri Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Gauranita Hai Gauranita Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Gauranita Hai Gauranita 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 Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं विद्वतं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So I welcome everyone here for Bhakti Shastri classes, and this is our first class, online class, beginning with the course, and subject is Ishopanishad. So I hope everyone is ready here. Okay. तो आप जिसको थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम भी होता है इंग्लिश में, वो बोल सकते हैं, उनको हिंदी में भी समझा सकते हैं, लेकिन समय को ध्यान रखते हुए करेंगे. And if everybody is comfortable with the English and with Prabhupada's text, book, writings, everything, so then we'll go ahead in a normal way. So today we are beginning Ishopanishad. Okay. Yeah, everybody can switch on their videos as requested here. Okay, so how we are going to continue our understanding and study of Ishopanishad? We'll be reading Prabhupada purports, slokas. In future, I may also compile all the slokas of Ishopanishad. I will put it at one place so that before the class will start, we will recite all the 18 slokas plus invocation, so that at the end of Ishopanishad lecture, we will be confident that we have remembered the slokas. So this was a pattern of teaching in Gurukulas, where children were given the sloka in the morning time to recite. So before any subject of teaching begins, first is recitation of mantras. So we have offered prayers to our Gurudev and the Lord and whole parampara to begin our class. But for our own self-learning, we should recite the slokas. Otherwise, it happens that at the end of Bhakti Shastri, we don't know which slokas are there, how many slokas are there, and how to recite them. So I'm seeing many devotees whom I personally know here, Pradhan Purush Prabhu, even Chandra Bhushan Prabhu. So all of them, they have kindly come here to learn something. And many others are there whom I may not know. You are also very senior. So I offer pranam to everyone, as well as also I request blessings of all the Vaishnavas, so that we can begin our learning very nicely. Because you know, this prayer, as we sing or we chant, Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahe Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidyashavahe Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This prayer also says that there should be very congenial relationship between teacher and the student. We are all here together to learn to serve the Lord. How to better serve the Lord, that we all know, that we are all devotees. All the scriptures are goal towards that end only. So none of us should harbor any malice or envy or any kind of prejudice, anything in our learning. And we should be free from all these things, taking the blessings of the great souls, acharyas, following their footsteps, following their teachings. We can someday reach to our goal. So that's why these prayers are very, very important. Okay. So now, the Ishopanishad. How many of you know about Upanishad? What do you mean by Upanishad? I want to hear from you, one of you or two of you, anyone. You can raise your hand and then you'll unmute. Upanishad. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Yes.
Guruji, like Upanishad are like the part of Vedas, and they are part of. They are like Smriti, means spoken by the Lord.
Okay. Upanishads is a part of Veda. Correct. Very nice. So yes, Harsh. Yes, Harsh Prabhu, boliye.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, Upanishad means the scripture which brings a person close to the Supreme Lord.
Brings a person close to Supreme Lord. That is correct. Upanishad. उपनिषदति, उपनिषीदति। उपनिषीदति मतलब क्या? उप मतलब पास में, निषीदति मतलब लेके आना, ब्रिंग। उपनिषीदति तो किसके पास में लाना? तो भगवान के पास में लाना। इसका मतलब है उपनिषीदति। इसका और भी मतलब है, आचार्यों ने और भी, आचार्य have also disintegrated in with the different meanings also. Upa means close, ni means certainly, Upanishad. Sad means to destroy, to loosen, or to attain. Three meaning comes. To destroy, to loosen, or to attain. Upa means close, ni means certainly. So what to loosen? Loosen our bondage to this material world. Loosen our bondage to this material world by bringing us closer to the Lord, or the knowledge of the absolute truth. Loosen our bondage. And what to attain? Attain the liberation or the Supreme Lord. So like that. So what to attain, what to loosen, and what to destroy? Ignorance of this material world, destroy. So this is the meaning of Upanishad. Acharyas have said in the scriptures, Upanishad. I will just share something. Okay. And the Vedas, okay, I will just share you, then it will be more proper for you. As you see here, so the Vedas, as we will be also studying in the Prabhupada introduction, but as an overview there also we will study, but Prabhupada basically mentions that the Vedas simply means to know Vedas. Vedas comes from the verbal root vid. Vid means to know or to awaken, to understand. That is the meaning of Veda. Primarily, the Vedas are divided into 4 parts. Prabhupada many times says that Vedas were only one Veda earlier, but before this beginning of Kali Yuga, the Vedas were divided into 4 parts. Because our memories are very short, we cannot carry everything in our mind. So therefore, if I have to do some work, I am looking for something, so then I would go to the Vedas and that section will also only come to me. I need not worry about the other part of the Vedas. So that's why the Vedas divided the Vedas into 4 parts. And this is not limited to this. He also expands the Vedas. Other sages also help him. And so the whole, it's a big bunch of knowledge, you can say. It's a full canon of knowledge, bunch of knowledge. So primarily we know that this is called Shruti. The Veda is called Shruti. So Shruti means which you have heard. So Shruti means Sunna. The heard from whom? Narayan or Krishna. So Veda pranahito dharmo adharmastad viparyaya. So Veda, when Yamdutas were asked by Vishnuduta, can you tell me what is a religion? What is the symptom of religion? What is a religion? So then they say that the Veda pranahito dharma. Veda is what? Veda is where dharma is mentioned. So whatever given in Veda is dharma. It is also said that Vedayati Brahma Dharmam Cha Vedaha. Means what? The Veda mentions about dharma and Brahman. Veda speaks about what? Dharmam, yani dharma, different kinds of dharma. and also the Brahman. Brahman means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so that is called Veda. So this is definition that Veda yati Brahmam Brahma Dharmam cha Vedaha. This is also given, the definition of Veda. So as you see, the sound vibration received from the God, and which is the Veda. Veda means knowledge. The sound vibration you are receiving from the God. And then the Vedas are divided into Rig Veda. So what is the Rig Veda? Compilation of various hymns that are descriptive words of praise of demigods. So in the Rig Veda, there are many hymns are there. And what are those hymns? Hymns are basically the prayers to the demigods. And as we know, the prayers to the demigod is a Karma Kanda section. Karma Kanda section. But just Veda don't simply contain only the prayers. There are also, as you see here, the Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad, that also comes. So, this I will discuss one by one. Let us first discuss this part. So the Rig Veda describes about the praise of the demigods. Now the Sama Veda. Sama means gentle song. It also shows of the power of musical notes. The music, you can understand the whole music is taking one Veda full. Means how to sing the different chants to the demigods in a different meters. कैसे उसको गाना है, क्या क्या छंद हैं, क्या क्या meters हैं, उसे कैसे गाना है. The power of musical notes comes from the Sam Veda. Specific tune में गाना, and origin of Sangeet comes from here only, the Sam Veda. So the music should not be again underestimated. Music itself is a very big thing. We know even in our Hare Krishna moment, what we like most is the Kirtan, and chanting also we like, but we we like Kirtan because we can dance and we can sing in a different tunes. People, very great devotees, many devotees sitting and just taking harmonium and playing for long hours. So music has a great significance. Now the Yajur Veda. Yajur means practice or ritual. It is a realization of performing rituals. All the yagyas, the rituals, different kind of ritual. Who will be the four kind of pujaris, or you can say the purohita, who will perform the yagya, and what kind of things to be brought for yagya, how to do the yagya, what rituals has to be performed. These are given specifically in Yajur Veda. See, don't think that Sam Veda does not have mantra from Rig Veda. No, Sam Veda also contains mantra from Rig Veda, because as I say, it is telling you that how to chant some mantra of the demigods. So then these mantras are here. So therefore they will also take the mantra from Rig Veda and they will chant it in a different meters. Yes. So there are some also intersection, some mantras are taken from here. And this is the common thing in the Vedic literature. I'm going to talk about it. So Yajur Veda also has a mantra from Rig Veda. Yes. So these things come. And then comes Atharva Veda. Atharvan means Apaurasya. It is not compiled by any mortal human being. This word Apaurasya comes in the Prabhupada introduction also. The Vedas are Apaurasya. All the Vedic literature, they are not spoken or even compiled by a mortal being, but it is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead, immortal, or you can say spiritual being, who is free from all the defects. So in Atharva Veda, they are dealing with the life, diseases, how to cure the diseases, how to earn wealth, means very practical aspect of the life, things, how to acquire, how to consume, all these things are there in Atharva Veda. So this is the Atharva Veda, you can see it's totally unique from all these three, because this is talking about rituals, this is talking about how to sing, and this is what to sing. But now the Atharva Veda is talking about Arthashastra also comes. So, so now these are the 4 primary Vedas, and then they are also further divided into Upaveda. Upaveda. Upaveda means what? Taking the instructions of the Vedas, and then I want to make some other compilation. Like I want to make some Ayurveda. So then Ayurveda comes from Riga Veda. So then Ayurveda then take some things from this Veda and compile it separately, that it will become Upaveda. So like that. So Arthashastra comes from Atharva Veda. And Yajurveda, from Yajurveda comes the Dhanurveda. Means how to learn the archery. So then different compilation has been done by different sages, taking the same source Vedic literature. Same source is same Vedic literature. Now you take out differently and you make it. Now again, these 4 Vedas are also divided into 4 more sections. Samhitas, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. Means Samhita are what? The slokas in the Vedic literature, when they are chanted with proper meter, as mentioned by the Vedas only, so then they are called mantras. When mantras are collected together, they are called suktas. Sukta. Purush Suktam, Sri Suktam, that is called Sukta. When mantras are collected together, they are called Sukta. And when Suktas are collected together, they are called Samhitas. Brahma Samhita, Manu Samhita. So like that. Parasar Samhita. Samhita basically, you should have proper Suktas and more mantras, Suktas, Samhitas, increasing the size. And now the Samhitas in Gurukulas, the children used to be taught Samhitas, because this is to be learned, because so many suktas or prayers you have to learn, which we cannot learn when we grow, because our intelligence starts functioning better and our mind becomes, the memory power goes, at least you can say it does not grow, it becomes stable. But in childhood, you can make it as much as possible. So therefore, by learning the mantras, so in the Gurukulas, in beginning years, the children were only given mantra just to recite. 700 slokas of Bhagavad Gita recite. Panini 4,000 sutras recite and just remember. Like that. This was a teaching. And when they will come to 15, 16 age, then they will also be given more interior meanings of those slokas. Uska matlab kya hai? लेकिन पहले श्लोक तो याद होना चाहिए. Like Krishna also says na, that kamesha krodesha rajoguna samudveva. He says that dhyayato vishyan pumsa sangasthi utpajayate sangat sanjayate kama krodho vijayate krodha bhavate sammoha sammohat smriti brahmasad buddhi nasat pranashyati. मतलब क्या है, अगर स्मृति ही चली जाए, आपको याद ही नहीं रहे, तो बुद्धि कहाँ से, from where the buddhi will take the knowledge and inspire us? If the smriti, the source of knowledge or the repository of knowledge is only gone away. So therefore the knowledge has to be first there. Then I can contemplate on that knowledge through my intelligence, through my consciousness, and then I can take some decision. अब knowledge ही नहीं है तो क्या है? अभी आजकल कलयुग में यही है. This is the real fact. We are really deficient of real knowledge. We have, as a Krishna conscious being, we have been given the real knowledge by Srila Prabhupada, but our lives are not fully aligned with the Vedic way. We are still struggling in so many, and all of us are aware that so much problems are coming because we have left this whole culture, Vedic culture, and we have come to the modern culture. So Samhitas means which were taught the brahmacharis. Brahmana means this is a more practical how to apply those Samhitas. This was for grihasthas, and Aranyaka for Vanaprastha, and Upanishad for sannyasis, Jnani sannyasis. So generally how this is divided, this is there in every Veda, okay? In Yajur also and Atharva also, everywhere it's there. The 4 divisions are there. This is a basic understanding of it. Okay, so we understood this thing. So Samita, okay, I will also mention this one. So, okay. So now we understood Upanishad. What do we mean by Upanishad as we learned? Now the Upanishad is basically what? Division, some section of the Vedic literature has been given to Upanishad. Upanishad basically, they are philosophical statements. Because sannyasis matlab they have given up the world. They are now focusing on something sat. Satanyas. Sat, sannyas matlab satanyas. For sat, I have done nyas of everything. Nyas means I have given up. In order to pursue the sat, satchai, or you can say the eternal things, I have given up the asat. So therefore, they don't require anything which concerns about how to gain some wealth, how to gain some knowledge, some yagya I should perform, some ritual I should perform. उनको नहीं चाहिए, वो ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं, उनको अभी जीवन का अंत आने का हो गया है. अब उनको now they have to focus on absolute truth, something higher. They want to achieve the next goal of their in after dying. They have to go to the next goal where they are going. So then they have to focus on certain literature. So Upanishads were generally meant for sannyasis or jnanis, according to the Vedic, in the Vedic tradition. Okay, so Upanishad, Prabhupada also mentions that Upanishad, it is the beginning of transcendence. Beginning of transcendence. Upanishad will not teach you, worship this demigod, worship that. No, 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 no. Upanishad will say, Baba, bahut worship ho gaya tumhara. Abhi, now you give up material forms, because the demigods, they are the devatas, but they have material form. And many people, because of not going to the right guru, they directly approach the Vedic literature, or they have heard from somewhere. They understand that this demigod is superior, and he's a superior, not superior, he's a supreme demigod. Like some say Shiva is a supreme demigod, or he's a god only. Some say Kartike, some say Ganesh, Maharashtra Ganesh lovers. So then they say like that. But we know that it is not like that. So Upanishad, they don't point his readers or its readers towards demigod. It says that now you do upasana of whom? Absolute truth. You know about him. Upasana Kand, which we say, no, Upasana Kand. So they don't mention about Upasana of this demigod. They mention Upasana of Supreme Lord. And so therefore they first tried to make us understand about who is the Lord, what is a Jiva, what is a Prakriti, what is a Karma, what is a Kala. All these 5 elements which are there in Bhagavad Gita: Prakriti, Jiva, Ishvara, Kal, Karma. These all things are there in Upanishad also. Okay? Upanishad also explains about it. So Upanishad basically takes us towards absolute truth. It tells us about the nature of absolute truth. Who he does not tell about the name. It will not tell the name, because नाम नहीं बताएंगे भगवान का उपनिषद. वो आपको घुमाते रहेंगे. Upanishad is for very intellectual people, Gyanis people who want sophisticated knowledge, some kind of intrigued knowledge, where you have to put your intelligence and mind to research. Panthasti koti satavatsara sampragamyo vayorathapi monaso munipungavana means best of the munis who are just running after absolute truth. They are only able to get what? A ray of light coming from the toe of Lord, Supreme Lord. So from the toe of the Supreme Lord, lotus feet, the ray of light which is coming, the Jnani can approach till that much only. Okay. So this is what Upanishad. So Upanishad is a transition phase. Karma Kanda से ऊपर ले जाता है उपनिषद. So therefore Prabhupada mentioned it's a beginning of transcendence. कर्म कांड में तो पूरा इधर का ही है, संसार का ही. जो तुम्हारा material desire, whatever material desire you have, you fulfill through Vedic literature. That is the karma kanda. Now the Jnana Kanda is there in Upanishads, which mentions, you think about yourself. Who are you? You are going to Swarga, again coming back. Who are these demigods? They are also going to die. Their benedictions are are also going to finish away. So just think, and then whether all the things of this world belong to these demigods or somebody else. So they question, they create questions in the mind of the readers or practitioners. Okay. So now, okay, I'm showing it, but let me tell more about it. So therefore, the Upanishads are important section of Veda. So Upanishad, and they come, the Shruti, now this is the Shruti Prasthan. Shruti Prasthan. So Prasthana Trayi, what do you mean by Prasthana Trayi? Any kind of philosophy, if it has to be sanctioned, authorized, then it has to pass through these three prasthana. Prasthan matlab chal ke jao. Prasthan karo. Go through what? श्रुति. श्रुति से अगर कोई भी फिलॉसफी अगर श्रुति के थ्रू नहीं जा पा रहा, श्रुति उसको रोक दे रही है, भैया तुम सही नहीं हो, यू कैन नॉट, यू आर लाइक अ ट्रेसपासर, यू आर लाइक इन्वेडर, यू कैन नॉट गो बैक. और स्मृति और न्याय. So we know that Rupa Goswami Pad has also given Suti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrikim Vidhim Vina. Ahetuke Hare Bhakti Utpateva Kalpate. Means agar amari, if our devotional service is not confirmed by Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatriki Vidhi, these four things, if it is not approved by these four literatures, then our bhakti will create utpat, means simply chaos. Like Sahajiya, they have no reference to Shruti. They are simply doing wearing any kind of dress and then saying we are a great devotee of the Lord. So like that. Okay. So what do you mean by Shruti Prasthana? So Trai means three. So Prasthana Trai means go through the three. Shruti Prasthan takes the Vedas and Upanishad. As we know, the Shruti and Upanishads, as I mentioned, they are the basically more important part of the Vedas, you can say, for which the Vedas are more pointing us towards, because Vedas have Karma Kanda and Gyan Kanda. Veda basically wants us to take us to Vedesha Sarver Aham Eva Vedyaha. Krishna says, no? Through Vedas, I am to be known. So Vedas should gradually advance the practitioners of the Vedic fold or the Vedic path to the absolute truth and ultimately to take him to the spiritual world. That should be the whole purpose of the Vedas. Now the Vedas, if maximum part of Veda is Karma Kanda, so many people become stuck in there only. So those who go to the Upanishad, it means they have fulfilled all their desires, or at least they have become frustrated. Now they want to do something else. So Upanishads are having higher purpose than the Karma Kanda section. So the Shruti Prasthan. So Upanishad is little higher. Upanishad little higher. They are the head of the Vedas, you can say also, the four Vedas. They are going little higher, okay, Upanishad, because they're the last, no? Brahmana, Aranyaka, and other things. They are the last one. So now these Upanishads, shlokas, are taken into Vedanta Sutra, and with a proper logic and evidences, they are proved. What I said? The shlokas of the Upanishad are taken into the Vedanta Sutra, and then they are proved there. Vedanta, here comes the Nyaya. Prasthana is Vedanta. So what the Vedanta is basically, Vedanta means Veda Anta, conclusion of the Veda. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Athato Brahma, somebody is raising hand. I will just let me complete, then you can ask. Okay. So Vedanta Sutra is taking the Upanishad slokas or mantras, and then they are proving through different, very, very tough logics. Logic are very tough, which we cannot understand in today's context. Matlab, aaj ke dino mein in Kali Yuga is difficult. Very Vedic way of putting the logics. So Vedanta Sutra, because Vedanta has to, Upanishad are right because they are directing us towards absolute truth. Now, if somebody say, can you prove me? So the Vedanta will go, Nyaya Shastra. Nyaya means what? Nyaya means based upon some logic, evidences, you go to some conclusion. So Upanishads are giving some conclusion, but how to prove them? So then Vedanta will do. Vedanta Sutra will do. They will prove Upanishad statements. Okay. And so therefore Nyaya Prasthan. Okay. What is the Smriti Prasthan? Smriti Shastra. Okay. Shruti means what is heard. Smriti means what you remember, what you recollect, what you remember, and then how you explain to others. That is Smriti. Somebody has spoken to me something, then I recollect it, or what he has spoken, and then I explain it to somebody else. He has spoken this thing. So that is called Smriti. So Smriti Shastra means you know what Puranas, Itihasas, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, all will come. Bhagavad Gita is also Upanishad. Gita Upanishad is also spoken because Bhagavad Gita, the best of the Upanishad, you can say, because it's directly spoken by Supreme Lord. And here giving the essence of bhakti. Upanishad generally they establishes bhakti, but they don't explain much detail about the Lord, who is the Lord, कौन है भगवान, ये सब ज्यादा बोलते नहीं है, घुमाते रहते हैं थोड़ा. लेकिन भगवद गीता में तो डायरेक्टली बोला भगवान ने कि मैं ही भगवान हूँ, मेरी भक्ति करो. So भगवद गीता is more better, but it is a smriti because it is a part of Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is a smriti, is a Pancham Veda, also called Pancham Ved. And Mahabharata किस लिए लिखा वेद व्यास जी ने? क्योंकि स्त्री शूद्र द्विज बंधु नाम त्रयी न श्रुति गोचरा. क्योंकि श्रुति को पढ़ तो पाएगा नहीं कौन? स्त्री शूद्र द्विज बंधु, the women class and the Sudra class, and Dvija Bandhu, those who are Brahmana only by birth, or Kshatriya only by birth, or Vaishya only by birth, but they have no qualification of their rates or their position. So therefore, they are called Dvija Bandhu, friend of Dvijas, second born. Okay. So now for them, Mahabharata was written. Mahabharata was written so that they can read all the life history of Pandavas and they will understand what is dharma, what is adharma. Even that is also becoming difficult to understand. In today's people read Mahabharata and they understand something else only. That is why we know in the 4th chapter of 1st canto, Ved Vyas was disappointed. Oh, I have written all the Vedic literature. Mahabharata, itna mota, itna bada Mahabharata kiya maine. Lekin phir bhi, I did not get satisfaction in the heart. So then, even though he had written Vedanta, he had written Mahabharata, also satisfaction did not come. Why? Because he has not exclusively glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And for that, he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, Bhagavatam is the highest. Bhagavatam, it is explaining the Nyaya Shastra, means the Vedanta. So Bhagavatam has the Nyaya inside. But why it is coming in Smriti? Because Smriti means in Bhagavatam, many conversations are there. Two persons are speaking about some other place, some other history, lineage. So therefore, they are recollecting, remembering, and they are explaining. So therefore, it comes into Smriti. But what Bhagavatam explains for all of us, we need not to read Vedanta. We have to read what? Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam is a natural commentary written by Vedavyas. Vedavyas ji, on the order of Narad Muni, in his more transcendental maturity, he wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so this is Smriti Prasthan. So, so we have everything now. Now, in terms of Shruti, we have Ishopanishad in our ISKCON, translated by Srila Prabhupada. And Smriti, we know Bhagavad Gita we have. And Nyaya Prasthan, we also have the Bhagavatam, which is a commentary on the Vedanta. Okay, so now, yes, what is the question? Somebody has some question here raised, and who was there?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhupada.
Prabhuji, just last statement, I just wanted a little more clarity. You said that for Shruti, we have ISKCON. So, exactly, can you please elaborate on this?
Shruti, what we have ISKCON. Okay, Shruti means in terms of Shruti, we have Isopanishad in ISKCON. Isopanishad is the Upanishad.
Right.
Okay, na?
Yeah.
So therefore, we have the Shruti also. Shruti is there.
Okay. So that means we essentially have access to everything. Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya, in that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will talk about the sixth system of philosophies also that we will discuss now. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's contribution, nobody can forget. I will show you the shlokas also if the time permits, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has protected us. Even if you read these all Shrutis, Smritis and Nyaya, you cannot reach to the proper conclusion because so many people have got bewildered. बड़े-बड़े लोग की हालत खराब हो गई है. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made this process so simple that Balo api, even if somebody is a small child, he can also cross in the ocean of this ignorance, where so many crocodiles of different philosophies are there to eat. So let us now understand what are those philosophy, other things. Now the sixth system of philosophies, Srila Prabhupada mentions, we are basically learning little about it, and because you may read about them also later in Chaitanya Charitamrita or other purports of Srila Prabhupada. But here, in the beginning of Bhakti Shastri course, this has to be understood where we stand and where we have to go. So this is the beginning only. Now, six system of philosophies are Nyaya, Vaisasika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa or Karma Mimamsa, and Uttara Mimamsa means Brahma. Brahma Mimamsa or Uttara Mimamsa. It was propounded, Nyaya Shastra. Now, what are these? First, let me understand, make it clear first. The sixth system of philosophies means who has created? Ved Vyas has created? No. Ved Vyas ji has not created the sixth system of philosophy. Understand? Who has created? After him, people created. So then, whether the Nyaya was not there, Vaishasika, Sankhya was not there in Vedas? No, Vedas also internally they have. Intrinsically, the Vedas have everything. But these people, as spoken in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, illusioned by the Maya of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, these sages have created this kind of non-theistic philosophy. Non-theistic means I'm not saying atheistic. You can also say atheistic in one sense, but let me make it understand. Theist, atheist. Theist मतलब क्या होता है? According to Vedas, वेद मानेला होए आस्तिक, वेद न मानेला होए नास्तिक. तो वेद को मानता है वो आस्तिक है, जो वेद को नहीं मानता वो नास्तिक है. इसलिए हम बुद्धिज्म को नहीं मानते हैं क्योंकि वो नास्तिक है. ओके, तो अभी ये लोगों ने तो वेद को माना है, लेकिन फिर भी ये अल्टीमेट गोल तक नहीं पहुंच पा रहे. इनकी गाड़ी पहले रुक जा रही है. Their vehicle is stopping before only. Okay, means they are not able to take us to the ultimate conclusion, surrender to Supreme Lord. They have taken some other conclusion. So that is a problem. So with this sixth system of philosophy, leaving this Vedanta, the last one, Uttar Mimamsa or Vedanta Sutra, leaving these five systems, they are non-theistic. They don't take us to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Neither they accept the supremacy of Lord Krishna. They don't accept that he is a supreme most. They don't accept. If they accept, they have to negate their philosophy. But they will not accept. So it was propounded by Gautam Muni. He considered combination of atom as the original cause of creation. As all of us know, we have also read Dalton theory. In the chemistry, Dalton theory means everything, the universe is simply made up of atoms. Okay, they are made up of atoms. That is the only supreme thing. Like if somebody gives you Rasgulla and then says that It is made up of millions of atoms. Some are of some tasty atoms and some crispy atoms or whatever, some juicy atoms, whatever. So this is not the real truth. Even though they are, it is said that Andantarastu Parmanu Chayan, Parmanu is there everywhere. But Parmanu is not the ultimate truth. But Nyaya Shastra says, no, everything is made up of atom. So atom is there. And even God comes below it. God comes below it, they say. So that is the Nyaya propounded by Gautam. Now the Vaisasika, it was propounded by Kanad. He considered combination of atoms. Again, he also considered the same thing. Kanad also says the same thing, that the atoms is the creation. It means seeing the world from material perspective. Material perspective. Everything is made up of atoms. So therefore, the whole world is, if you want to get energy, then you have to get energy from these atoms. If you want to get the truth, you have to get from these atoms. Everything, so you have to get from the atoms. From this world, means this world is everything for them. Sankhya, atheist Kapila, he considered material nature as the original cause. 24 elements. 25th element गायब है उनका, 26th भी गायब है. आत्मा और परमात्मा दोनों गायब है. केवल 24 एलिमेंट में खेलते रहते हैं. So this is again atheistic. Prabhupada says atheistic Kapila. Then the yoga, Patanjali, what they do now, Ramdev Baba, follower of it, propounded by Patanjali, they imagine some form of absolute truth and they worship, but they don't accept Krishna's form as absolute. No, Krishna is something else, but they imagine some form. Srila Prabhupada says this is the process of self-realization. So they are also not accepting. They are imagining something. Then comes the Jamini. He propounded this is the Karma Mimamsa, that karma is the supreme. Even God comes under karma. This kind of philosophy you may find too much prevalent in India. Like even Lord Ram, when he takes birth as a human, he has to go through so much suffering. His kingdom was taken away. His wife was taken away. Later he has, means his brothers, they betrayed, or the family betrayed him. So much suffering Lord Rama has gone through, had to go through. So why? Because karma is superior, even superior to God. Even you will know that in the Govardhan Leela pastime, when Krishna had to stop Indra Puja, Krishna spoke the same Karma Mimamsa. Nanda Maharaj, just do your activity. Demigods are supposed or obliged to fulfill your desire, because you're doing some karma, some result has to come and they have to give you the result. You need not worry about the God. God is like your servant only. If you do work, you have created good results, so they have to give you. This is what Krishna spoke, just to entice Nanda Maharaj towards the worship of Govardhan. He did not have any such intention to preach the wrong philosophy. Okay, so even God comes under this. Now the Uttar Mimamsa, this is the Vedanta. All of the five philosophy completely reject the predominance of Supreme Lord and strive to establish their own philosophical theories. However, Srila Vedvyas wrote the Vedanta Sutra, taking the essence of all the Vedic literature. Okay, and established the Supreme Personality of Godhead supremacy. So only this one is the right one. Others are all contrived or conjectured or speculated, whatever you can say. These are there. Okay. Now again, this is two types of people, Astic and Nastic. So Nastic comes here, you just see. So Buddhism, Jainism, and Charvakism. These are all Nastic philosophy. They don't accept only. They don't accept Vedas. So if they don't accept Vedas, they cannot be called even non-theistic or Astic. They are called Nastic. So we don't accept them. Now these are some Astic philosophies or non-theistic, this 5-1. They are more dangerous because they have taken shelter of Vedas, but they are misguiding us to the wrong conclusion. Now, the Vedanta is again divided into Advaita and Dvaita. Advaita means what? Jiva and Ishwar both are one. Advaita, कोई अंतर नहीं है दोनों में. Dvaita मतलब दोनों अलग है. दोनों अलग है. So Advaita philosophy was preached by Sankaracharya. Dvaita philosophy was preached by whom? Madhvacharya. and Visishta Dvaita, मतलब special और okay, special oneness और special क्या है, तो वो प्रीच किया किसने, रामानुजाचार्य ने, कि ये जो जुड़े हैं अभी मध्वाचार्य ने पूरा अलग कर दिया, जीव और परमात्मा को पूरा, परमात्मा या भगवान को पूरा अलग कर दिया कि भैया ये दोनों अलग है, इनमें कोई समानता नहीं, एकदम ये ऊपर ही है और ये नीचे ही है हमेशा। और उन्होंने क्या किया, मध्वाचार्य ने, रामानुजाचार्य ने विशिष्ट, उसमें कुछ क्वालिटीज डाला उन्होंने, कि कुछ कुछ समान है, कुछ कुछ ऐसा है। बट सबसे हाईएस्ट फिलॉसफी जो चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने एस्टेब्लिश किया, वो अचिंत भेदा वेद तत्व. What is that? That is coming from Dvait only. We are not Advaita. We don't say that God and living entity one. We say they are different, but they are also together. What is that togetherness? That is mentioned here. So Ramanujacharya, you see, sometimes you see two. Sankaracharya was saying like a Buddhist, they say zero. And this Sankaracharya said all are one. And then Ramanujacharya said that बाबा इन दोनों में भी थोड़ा अंतर है, विशिष्ट अद्वैत है। और फिर मध्वाचार्य बोले दो है, दोनों में कोई समानता नहीं। और फिर चैतन्य बाबू आगे दोनों को जोड़ के बोले बाबा ये दोनों है। तो ऐसा है। So this is Achinta Veda Tattva. Means we are simultaneously one and different. This is our philosophy. We come here. Okay. So now Bhakti Shastri to get this. So Bhakti Shastri, what four literature we are going to study? Isopanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Instruction, and Nectar of Devotion. So Ishopanishad comes in what? Shruti, as we just now learned. Bhagavad Gita comes into Smriti. It is a part of Mahabharata. And Mahabharata is a story. It is an itihas. Itihas of Pandava dynasty, Kaurava dynasty. And then these two literatures, they are little different now. They are neither put into Smriti. They are here books for the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So, Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami has mentioned how a neophyte can advance from neophyte stage to Madhyama and Uttama, and then he can enter into the deepest revelation of love of Godhead. So that is for the Vaishnavas to practice. And Nectar of Devotion, 64 limbs of Bhakti, what was devotional practice and how to accept Guru and how to advance in the devotional service. Not only that, what is Bhakti, what is Varnashrama, segregating Bhakti, separating Bhakti from all other things. And also the later part, there are 4 waves: Eastern wave, Northern wave, Southern wave. All 4 waves are there in the NOD. So we generally study one wave only. Later, when we are advanced, we can study later one. We studied in 19th chapter. So Nectar of Devotion mentions the qualities of Lord Sri Krishna also. Some very intrinsic, very exoteric pastimes of Radha Krishna also. Their relationship also. So Nectar of Devotion is a nectar. Nectar means how you can enjoy the nectar. And this is Nectar of Instruction. These are instruction, and this is a Nectar of Devotion. So these 4 literature we complete, as Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, that we should do this 4 literature. And later we have to also, like to be a Gaudiya Vaishnava, what we should be thorough with? We should be learning Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Nectar of Devotion. These 2 literature we will not read right now. This comes into further courses. In Bhakti Vaibhav, in Bhakti Vedanta comes Srimad Bhagavatam. In Chaitanya Charitamrita comes Bhakti Sarabham. That comes the last one. So we become complete Gaudiya Vaishnava, at least by reading those books, and later practice still remains with all of us. Now, this is another thing. Now, sadhana and sadhya. What is a sadhya? Sadhya means object of worship, object of devotion. Sadhana means the means. The means. So sadhya is a goal and sadhana is a means. So as the picture says, the sadhya is the Lord Krishna and sadhana is our chanting hearing. Yes. So Bhagavad Gita and Ishopanishad, they both establish sadhya and sadhana. Okay. They both establish. So Bhagavad Gita, the first Ishopanishad. Ishopanishad talks about what? About the absolute truth. It points toward the absolute truth. How he does his activity, how he looks, and what are the things we should follow in context with absolute truth. Then what are the wrong things in this world which will not allow us to go to absolute truth. Oh, absolute truth, please help us to reach you. So all in terms of absolute truth, it is revolving. But it is not telling who is that absolute truth. Yes, it is telling that we have to do some kind of devotional service. It is telling because we are very much humble. Bhagavad Gita very clearly establishes devotional service and our relationship with the Lord. Bhagavad Gita is like ABCD as well as everything, you can say. If you want to talk about philosophy, it is simply, Prabhupada says, it's a summary of all the Vedas. It's called Bhagavad Gita. Summary of all the Vedas is Bhagavad Gita. And he says, whatever you don't find in the Vedas, anywhere else, not Vedas has everything. What you don't find anywhere else is there in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita clearly establishes who is that Supreme Lord and what is the process. Yes, process, Bhagavad Gita mainly mentions about the four, like man mana, bhavamat, bhakto madhyajimam namaswar. These things are there. And then surrender to Krishna is there. Some process is also mentioned. But how to dedicate our lives, how to understand the whole bhakti process, that is explained by Nectar of Instruction and Devotion. They explain the bhakti, sadhana and sadhya. Who is Krishna? They explain about that. Okay. So they establishes the sadhana and sadhya, and Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, they explain about them. Okay. So this is the whole sum of our Bhakti Shastri, to know what is the goal and how to achieve, what is the means of that, achieving that goal. Okay, any question till now? Yes, Harsh Prabhu, yes. What is the question? Harsh Prasanna Atma Prabhu, yes.
Yes, as you have explained about three Prasthanatraya, that is Shruti, Smriti and Nyaya, and another 6 philosophies like Nyaya, Vaisesika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva. So how to, Guruji, my question is, how to understand the difference between the Nyaya Prasthan and Nyaya philosophy, which is atheistic philosophy, and also how to understand the difference between Sankhya philosophy, which is given by Lord Kapila, and Sankhya philosophy given by atheistic Kapila.
The Nyaya Shastra, which was propounded by Gautama, it is non-theistic, because he wants to take to the conclusion which is not to surrender to the Supreme Lord, neither is establishing the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. He is establishing the truth of this world only. Like I mentioned, Nyaya means to reach to some conclusion based upon certain logic and evidence. That is the meaning of Nyaya. Now, Vedavyas, he is taking the statement of Upanishads in Vedanta, and he is through logics, through evidence of Shruti, Smriti, he is proving that in Vedanta Sutra. So Vedavyas has a conclusion of Upanishads, and he has a Shruti, Smriti to prove that he is using in Vedanta. And what Gautama is doing? Gautama is not taking. Gautama is taking his own mind's goal and then taking some statement of Vedas and trying to match it. That is Gautama. Nyaya Shastra is already given by Vedavyas ji. He is using those Nyaya. Nyaya can also be a separate school of knowledge, and it can also be used to prove some conclusion. Both can happen. Okay, na? Like Nyaya Shastras are there. So some Nyaya you learn, some Nyaya you learn, basically some logic, some evidences you learn, and you know to go to the conclusion. The Nyaya Shastras you learn. At the same time, those Nyaya you use it to prove the statements of the Vedic literature. So that is good. Like Srila Prabhupada, he uses the Bhagavad Gita everywhere you find to prove that how Krishna conscious is a foremost process. They're doing the right thing. But many people, Mayavadis, they take the slokas of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam and they prove that how impersonal Brahman is supreme. Or he does not have hand, leg, everything, all these things. So then they are speculating. So one is called mental speculation, one is called philosophical speculation. So they are doing mental speculation, which is of no use. Yes. Okay. And second question, what was the second question?
Prabhuji, how to understand the difference between that Sankhya philosophy given by Lord Kapila and Sankhya philosophy given by atheistic?
Okay, Sankhya, I will cut short because time is limited. Sankhya philosophy given by Lord Kapila has a goal of bhakti. There are 26 elements are there. 24 elements are fully material. 25th is Atma, 26th is the Paramatma. So Lord Kapila does not talk about only 24 elements, that okay, material nature is like this, material nature is like that. He's talking about this material nature is coming from Supreme Lord. You surrender to that. So therefore, like many people say that Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about atheistic Sankhya to convince Arjuna. Even though he may be using those portion of Sankhya that we are not this body, we are soul, so better you kill them. We are not going to kill any Atma. They are not going to be killed anyway. Atma is not going to be killed. So therefore, you can do some injury to them, no issue. And we are all Atma. But this is not the conclusion of Krishna. Krishna is also going from 2nd chapter to 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, where he's explaining about the whole connection of Paramatma and Atma and his devotional service, everything. So Krishna may use some part, but it does not mean he's restricting to that only. So you just simply only talk about, see, Prabhupada simply mentions like one path of bhakti where you know the goal, Krishna. You know the goal, and then you surrender to him. And Sankhya, what it does, Sankhya basically, it says that we have to find that goal by neti process. Okay, this material world is not correct. Okay, this object is material, this object is that, all this neti. Ultimately, you go to where? What is Sat? So you leave the Asat and you go to Sat. So Sankhya, Krishna says that those who say that both process, Buddhi Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, these are different, they are having the childish intelligence. Sankhya is finding the truth, and then surely it will surrender also, the person. And Bhakti already knows the truth, but now they are practicing to surrender to that truth. So both are into the same goal actually. So this is this Sankhya which I'm talking about. This is Kapil Dev. But atheistic Sankhya means simply talking about 24 elements. Okay, na? So this much is enough. Okay, let us go ahead. So now we'll go to how the flows of verses are there in the Isopanishad. Srila Prabhupada says, if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, then immediately you will realize God. Yes, because Bhagavatam is also literary incarnation of the Lord. If we read and study with the proper devotion, then surely Lord will help us to realize him. Now, Ishopanishad, Sri Ishopanishad at the glance. Okay, Sri Ishopanishad, now there are 108 Upanishads, as we have heard from in Parampara. So in Mukti Upanishad, these 108 Upanishads are mentioned, and these names are given in Chaitanya Charitamrita, 108 Upanishads name. And this Upanishad, Ishopanishad. So among these 108 Upanishads, 11 are more prominent. So which are those? So 108 Upanishad, 11 are more prominent, and among 11, the Ishopanishad is the first. Isha ke na katha, prashna, Aitereya, Taittiriya, Chandogya, Mundak, Mandukya, Brihadaranya, Svetasvatar Upanishad. These are almost 11. So these are 11 Upanishads are foremost one. Srila Prabhupada ji has written only on Ishopanishad. Many other Acharya like Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan, Ramanujacharya, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur also mentioned, and Madhvacharya, they have written on others also. So this Ishopanishad, as I mentioned, these Upanishads have come from the Vedas. So this comes in the last chapter of Sukla Yajurveda. Ishopanishad comes, the same statements are coming from Sukla Yajurveda, the last chapters. Okay, and these are the mantras which Swayambhu Manu used, these Ishopanishad mantras, to glorify Lord Yagya in the 8th canto. And when he retired from his family life, Swayambhu Manu went to the forest and he was chanting the Lord's name, meditating on him. So he was murmuring the mantras of somewhat like Ishopanishad also. But then Yagya, then many demons came, they wanted to attack and kill Swayambhu Manu. So the Lord Yagya, who was praised by Manu with the mantras of Ishopanishad, protected him. So Isha Upanishad, which talks about the Isha, absolute truth. Okay, so this is some background. Now, the Isopanishad at glance. So Isopanishad had one invocation mantra, Om Purnamada, and then 18 slokas are there, or 18 mantras are there. Okay, 18 mantra. So what are those? So in these 3 mantras and 1 invocation, laws of God, living in harmony with God. Ishopanishad establishes what? What are the laws of God? And how we can live in harmony with that. So first mantra talks about Lord is complete, he's a source of unlimited complete units. Second talks about, invocation. The first mantra talks about what? Accepting only your quota, Ishavasana. Everything belongs to God, Supreme Lord, as Supreme Absolute Truth. Just accept what is your quota. The second mantra, benefit of living in spirit of Ishavasya. Understanding, I am under Isha. I am under Isha. मैं ईश के अंडर हूं. I am not independent, I am dependent. And then understanding everything belongs to Ish. Understanding this, living in that spirit, mantra 2 talks about that. Then those who don't live in that spirit, where they will go? So therefore the laws of God is mentioned, and we should live in harmony with the God. This is for these 4 statements. Now the section 2. Okay, who knows about the Lord? How he looks, what are his qualities? So then Mahabhagavat, who can see the Lord? I cannot see. Those are Mahabhagavat. So Ishopanishad mentions that Mahabhagavat, Bhaktya mama bijanati, Bhaktya, only devotee can understand me, pure devotee. So therefore Ishopanishad mentions the vision of that Mahabhagavat. Through that you can understand who is that Lord. So he mentions that Lord is beyond our understanding. He cannot be conceived. Limited understanding, we cannot understand. He is inconceivable. And then, therefore, then what is our duty? Our duty is to understand that he is a Isha, under him everything is there. So we have to see everyone equally, because he is there in the heart of everyone. So everything see in the relation and also develop equal vision. And the mantra 8 talks about the attaining the Lord who has divine qualities. The Lord has the divine qualities and how to attain him. How to attain him. So this is the section 2. The third section, comparison of knowledge, vidya and avidya. Okay, now I have known the laws of Lord, what are the vision of Mahabhagavat, I know the goal also. Now, what things can help me here? I'm living in this world of Vidya and Avidya. So then the three special things on this only. In this kind of section twice, like third and fourth sections are like that only. Means two things comparison, Vidya and Avidya, and Sambhuti, Asambhuti, like that. So Vidya, what is Vidya, what is Avidya? What is negative Vidya? What is negative Vidya or misguided Vidya and Avidya comparison? Then what will happen if you follow this Avidya and Vidya? Then what is a right Vidya and Avidya? If you combine both, balance them, then you will approach that Supreme. Okay, so this is talked about here, and the same thing talked here also, Sambhuti, Asambhuti. Means, what is the negative Sambhuti, or you can say, which is misleading Sambhuti and Asambhuti, and what result comes when you follow Sambhuti, Asambhuti. And if you know the real Sambhuti, Asambhuti, and balance them, properly approach them, properly approaching to them in a proper understanding, so then you will attain immortality. So see, Ishopanishad sections are taking us where? To ultimate truth. The first section also said, if you follow Isavasya, you can live for as many years, you can go to Supreme. Second sloka said, how the pure devotees, they understand the world and they also want to attain the Lord. The third section also they said, what is the Avidya and Vidya? If you attain the right Vidya and Avidya, then you will approach the Supreme. The fourth section also says, if you know the Sambhuti or Sambhuti, then you will also approach the Supreme. The fifth section also says what? Fifth section is now approaching that Supreme. Oh Lord, please remove your effulgence, Brahman effulgence. Show me your face. Guide me how to approach you. Remember my sevas. Remove my sins so that I want to approach you. So Isopanishad is talking about how to attain the Supreme. Okay, na? So now the 5 sections are complete here. So today we will start with our first section. Any question till now? Yes, Arjun Jaiswal ji. Yes, boliye.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Guruji, like some people say that it was from the first part of the class. That some people say that Bhagavad Gita is Smriti. It means someone has remembered and then written or presented it. And because it is Smriti, there may be some errors and all that. So, like how to counteract or do counter argument of this question or of this argument particularly?
One thing, the Smriti does not have error. We should not say that. Smriti does not have any error. If it has error, it cannot be considered in the Vedic fold. Only those who are liberated souls, they have only authority to do compilation of all these things. Either Shruti are also, see, Smriti is also equivalent to Shruti only. Prabhupada mentions this, all these Puranas and Itihasas, they are supplementary books of the Vedic literature. You want to understand them more better, you have to read Itihasas like Mahabharata, Puranas, Ramayana. Many times people get bored reading very philosophical things. They have to read the stories, the lives of some great souls or the Lord himself, the pastimes. Yes. So therefore, they are equally potent. They are equally right. Okay, Bhagavad Gita's position is, as I mentioned, because it is spoken by Supreme Lord, it has to be Shruti only. But because it is put into the Mahabharata section, Mahabharata means some who is Vaisampayana is telling to Janmajaya. And so therefore it is compiled. So now some Rishi is telling to somebody. It is not directly some Shruti mantras. It is speaking some stories, some kind of lineage of Pandavas. So therefore, it is Bhagavad Gita is also part, because Krishna and all the Kauravas, Pandavas, they came in the battle of Kurukshetra, they fought, and that is a part of Mahabharata. So therefore, the whole section of Gita is taken into Smriti. And the important part of Mahabharata is Gita only. Many people leave Gita and they watch everything because it is very boring for others, because no devotee is there who is making them understand. This is the issue. Okay, let us go ahead.
Thank you.
So now, yes. Now we'll come to the introduction. You may all open your Ishopanishad book at your table desk or in your laptop. Introduction. We are reading introduction now. So this all Bhakti Shastri or any kind of course is there first to go through completely with the Prabhupada purports and his translations, and if possible remember the slokas also, and also to think from different angles, apply it in our lives, develop character, develop culture. This is what the whole purpose. So first we have to begin with the reading. What are the Vedas? So we have divided some sections with some heading. So this has some 9 or 10 sections, this introduction. What is this introduction? This introduction was not written by Prabhupada. It was a spoken lecture by Srila Prabhupada in London, as you see here. So Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, BBT. So they took this lecture and they put in the introduction of Ishopanishad because it is quite fitting here. And even the Ishopanishad, Srila Prabhupada did not separately write a book. These were the lectures during World War time. Srila Prabhupada, not lectures, these are the BBT, Back to Godhead writings. So when World War was going on, Srila Prabhupada wanted to give solution to the different fighters in the World War, that what is the right understanding about life. So Srila Prabhupada thought that let me write Ishopanishad. So Prabhupada wrote Ishopanishad purport translation in Back to Godhead. And later, before coming to America, he wrote that. And later the devotees of Srila Prabhupada, these all American disciples, so they took those BTG and they put into compilation. And so Ishopanishad came out. Okay. Yes, what is the question? Yes.
I think Projit is your own hand.
So what are the Vedas? So I will request one devotee to read. Okay, Harsh Prashanatma Prabhu. Prabhuji, can you read now? What are this one section you can read? Yes.
What are the Vedas? Ladies and gentlemen, today's subject matter is the teachings of the Vedas. What are the Vedas? The Sanskrit verbal root of the Veda can be interpreted variously, but the purport is finally one. Veda means knowledge. Any knowledge you accept is Veda. For the teachings of the Veda are the original knowledge. In the conditioned state, our knowledge is subject to many deficiencies. Four defects of conditional.
Okay, no, okay, that much only. Okay, now my question comes to Shreyas Vaichal Prabhu. My question is, Prabhupada is telling Veda means what?
Any form of knowledge.
Ved means knowledge. Okay, to know or knowledge. So simple understanding, Ved means knowledge. Here, knowledge, Prabhupada is saying. So this can be your closed book questions also. What do you mean by Veda? Veda means knowledge. Whatever existing in this world and what is existing in the spiritual world, the Veda means knowledge. It has no beginning, no end. It is timeless. It is eternal. Vedas are eternal. So Veda Sakshat Narayan. Sakshat Narayan. It is non-different from Lord Narayan. It is coming from the breathing of Lord Narayan. It is non-different from Narayan. Okay, this is the Veda. Okay, in our conditioned state, our knowledge is subject to many deficiencies. So, okay, we are conditioned living being, we know. We have this body. This is a very right proof to understand that we are conditioned. So many things we want to do, but this body stops us doing those things. Yes. So let us now understand what are the defects of conditioned soul. Yes. Now who will start? Yamuna Vilas Prabhuji, you can read.
Yes, please. The difference of 4 defects of conditioned souls. The difference between a conditioned soul and a liberated soul is that the conditioned soul has 4 kinds of defects. The first defect is that he must commit mistakes. For example, in our country, Mahatma Gandhi was considered to be a very great personality, but he committed many mistakes. Even at the last stage of his life, his assistant warned, Mahatma Gandhi, don't go to the New Delhi meeting. I have some friends and I have heard there is a danger. But he did not hear. He persisted in going and was killed. Even a great personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, President Kennedy, there are so many of them make mistakes. To err is human. This is one defect of the conditioned soul.
Okay. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, what is the defect? The first defect does not mean it is the first one. It is in general Prabhupada is saying. So the commit mistakes means हम गलती करते हैं. So we have read this, or you must have read it many times. Srila Prabhupada mentions that this is the defect in conditioned soul. None of us are free from this. Yes, to some extent we can learn. Like many times people say, don't commit the same mistake again. It is very good for saying. It is very good for saying. You have to learn how you should not commit mistakes. So it is mentioned in Mahatma Gandhi, he committed mistakes. And Kennedy also. He was said that don't go into the assembly, you may be killed. And so he went and he was killed. Now somebody can say, but there are many instances where people have given up their life for great cause. Even though they knew that they were danger, they still went for a higher cause. That can be, but here it is mentioned that he was told that it is dangerous for you. Please do not go. So it happened. Many times it happens. Means we commit mistakes. Like in our childhood, parents said, "Beta, ye mat karo, wo mat karo, don't do this, don't do that." But still did, and then we got punishment. Yes, we have a full knowledge. But that time we were small. Now also we commit many mistakes. Like we have to count the rupees notes. We commit mistakes. 100 notes or 101 notes. So there are some limitations in our senses. And that's why we are committing mistakes. Okay, go ahead. Yes, Yamuna Bilas, please.
Another defect to be illusion. Illusion means to accept something which is not. Maya. Maya means what is not. Everyone is accepting the body as the self. If I ask you what you are, you will say, I am Mr. John. I am a rich man. I am this, I am that. All these are bodily identifications. But you are not this body. This is illusion.
Okay. So please be attentive. I will be asking some questions in between also. I may ask the examples of committing mistakes or examples of illusion. So this is the biggest thing, that we consider ourselves as body. And so I am John, I am rich man, I am poor man, I am fat, I am thin. So this is a bodily identification, and this is the greatest illusion in this world. If at all this bodily identification is removed, we can, you can say, we can cross over many of so-called problems of our life, so-called problems, if at all this bodily identification is removed. Bhagavatam says that there are 5 kinds of covering upon all of us. So first we forget that we are Atma. Second covering is we remember that we are this body. Third covering is we become angry when we are frustrated. Fourth covering is we fear from death. And there's one more covering is there. So like these 5 coverings are there upon us. So these coverings, they are like ahankar. They put us to sleep. They put us to sleep so that we don't remember who are we. So with this covering, we are illusioned. And unless we remove this covering, there is no solution. So I mean to say the problem is factual. It is not because we are Vaishnavas, we want to go away from this world. We are just trying to devise some problems in this world. No, the problem is actual. हमारे ऊपर कवरिंग है. अगर आपको ढका गया है इग्नोरेंस से, तो हम इग्नोरेंस में रहेंगे. तो 5 तरह की कवरिंग है. So yeah. So now, yes, the third defect is a cheating propensity. Who can read? Yes, Bhakti Leela Devi Dasi Mataji. Yes, Mataji, you can read. The third defect.
The third defect is the cheating propensity. Everyone has the propensity to cheat others. Although a person is fool number one, he poses himself as very intelligent. Although it is already pointed out that he is in illusion and make mistakes, he will theorize, I think this is this and this is this. But he does not even know his own position. He writes books of philosophy, although he is defective. That is his disease, and that is cheating.
Okay. This cheating propensity, every one of us also have. Like we may claim that this person is a very honest person. He never smuggles with money or never speaks lies. But it's a simply matter of time and opportunity. If comes, then he can also be betray. He can also betray. In our Indian histories, big people who have been trained from so many proper gurukulas or from proper gurus, they have betrayed, and that is why we have become slave. Even it's not that like during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there were also Vedic systems were there. It's not that Brahmanas were having lack of knowledge. No, but they were all fully materially oriented. I'm talking about them on the material level. I'm not going to spiritual, but even on the material morality principle, people have given up. People have given up, like having faith that okay, in this land Bharatvarsha there is a dharma, so we should protect this Bharatvarsha from adharmic people. Like Parikshit was roaming everywhere so that no Kali should infiltrate into the system of reign of Parikshit Maharaj in his kingdom. Otherwise, he will spread all the 4 kind of sinful activities. So therefore, Parikshit was roaming here and there. But now, what people do? One Raja, another Raja. One Raja says that I will give you this much money, you just surrender to me, and then this Raja surrenders. This is our Indian history. If you read the Indian history, many people have done like that. Big people. Why? Cheating propensity. Yes, Prabhuji. Braj Kumar, Govind Prabhuji, boliye.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I've heard that everything comes from Krishna, right? This propensity of cheating is also in material, in a spiritual world, is in Krishna. Can you just give us an example how this propensity can be used in this material world, spiritually, to use like as a spiritual means?
Okay, cheating propensity is there in Krishna. That is there. Krishna is stealing butter. Krishna is stealing the clothes of gopis. Krishna is also cheating gopis, telling something and doing something. Yes. So, but all these activities, even though they are dushanam, they become bhushanam. They become bhushanam means ornaments on the Lord. Because who is doing all these things? Lord is doing. We in this material world, we think ourselves as a doer, enjoyer, and karta, bhokta, maheshwaram apne ko sochte hain. So then what happens? Then we are entangled into the material laws. We have to suffer the result of our activities because you cannot be excused. And our activities take us to the more downward direction. Means we become animal in next life if we going to commit such activities. So we go more down, and Krishna becomes more praised by his devotees when he does such a leela. So yes, when Lord does, he is in spiritual consciousness, in spiritual loving reciprocation to his devotees, he is doing. And when we do, to satisfy our own senses, mind, so therefore we are punished, and this activity is considered more heinous. So cheating propensity, how to engage? We have to become more and more Krishna conscious. When we become more and more Krishna conscious, we may cheat, like Srila Prabhupada says, great soul cheat for higher cause. Srila Prabhupada says in Srimad Bhagavatam, like Vidura. Like Srila Prabhupada himself cheated many of people. he engaged them in Krishna service, and ultimately all people dedicated their life to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, the whole mission of Krishna consciousness is running like that only. Everybody cheating. We go to the college telling we will give some value education, moral education, and we go and we just destroy their all so-called values. We tell become devotees. We all are cheating only. So if we follow the Acharya path, Arya path, अगर हम भगवान का ये आचार्यों का पाथ फॉलो करते हैं, महाजनों ये नगाता से पंथ, so we may be cheating but for higher cause.
Okay.
But always remember, we have to do this with proper caution, because many times devotees, while distributing books, they cheat, and sometimes it brings bad name to ISKCON. So we have to also be aware, cautious, that it should not destroy the good name of ISKCON and our Guru Maharaj and whole society. We should understand this also. So cheating propensity has to be utilized not for our own self, but for cause for which acharyas have lived their life. They have set the mood and mission here. For that cause we can do. We can surrender our life for Gurudev. But we cannot surrender our life for our own purpose. So we should be careful.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we should have integrity, as well as even if you are Krishna conscious, we should have personal integrity also. It is important. Okay, so cheating propensity. Yes, Mataji, you can continue ahead. Cheating propensity.
Lastly, our senses are imperfect. We are very proud of our eyes. Often, sometimes we'll challenge, can you show me God? But do you have the eyes to see God? You will never see if you haven't the eyes. If immediately the room become dark, you cannot even see your hands. So, what power do you have to see? We cannot therefore expect knowledge, Vedas, with imperfect senses. With all these deficiencies in conditioned life, we cannot give perfect knowledge to anyone, nor are we ourselves perfect. Therefore, we accept the Vedas as they are.
Okay. So this completes the 4 defects which every conditioned living entity has. Okay. So the last one was imperfect sense. Okay, I was talking about the cheating one. Srila Prabhupada ji mentions this thing about cheating many times. Like many philosophers, they write books on Bhagavad Gita. And they say that Krishna is not God, or Krishna, don't surrender to Krishna who is standing in Kurukshetra. Surrender to something inside Krishna. Means Krishna has material body, and inside Krishna there is Atma. So surrender to the Atma of Krishna. So they don't know the spiritual personality Krishna. So such kind of people, they are cheating. In the name of philosophers, they are cheating. Like Ashtavakra, some many people use Ashtavakra Gita de do हमको. Ashtavakra Gita कौन है बाबा? Ashtavakra Gita में impersonalism है. तो कई लोग हमारे ISKCON stall पे आते हैं. They come to ISKCON stall and they say, do you have Ashtavakra Gita? You take a 3-fold bending from person's Gita, not Ashtavakra Gita. Ashtavakra means 8 places folded. You take 3 folding is enough for us. Ashtavakra Gita is having impersonalism. People do not know, and still they want to read about them. So, Prabhupada says because they are envious of Krishna. They don't want to present Krishna as the Supreme Lord. So therefore they write such philosophy. And the last one is our senses are imperfect. We cannot see many things. According to science, we have a limitation. We can only see the visible rays. We cannot see X-ray rays, we cannot see alpha rays, gamma rays. In science, it is there. We have certain limitations of eyes. And when a light is not there, you cannot see your hand also, because you cannot see. And Prabhupada says, makes the comment, you see, can you show me God? But you cannot see your hand. Here it is mentioned, you cannot see your hand. Many things like limitation of our senses. Recently, one incident happened. One girl was there. She's a devotee. And she was sleeping. And something happened in the night. Her eyes, some insect went. Something happened. And just she smeared, rubbed her eyes. And she woke up early in the morning and she was not able to see. Nothing was visible now from this eyes. And her lens got distorted. Means I can see straight, but she was able to see here in side looking. Means if I put my hand 5, so she can see from here. She's saying, 5 I'm able to, but I'm not able to see from here. From in front I cannot see. I can see from side. Means her lens got distorted. So when they told me, I was totally confused. ये कैसे हो गया? किसी की आंख को ऐसे करने से भी हो गया? Doctors are not able to find out. So much imperfection. Nowadays, many different kinds of diseases are coming. So much imperfection we have. Something happens, something else will happen. And still we believe on our senses. So this is one thing. And yeah, there are more examples. Let us see if time remains, I will show. So this is another. So we have learned about the 4 defects and what are the Vedas. Now the third one, Vedas are axiomatic truth which don't require any proof. Yes, Anurag Agarwal, can you read?
Sure. You may call Vedas Hindu, but Hindu is a foreign name. We are not Hindus. Our real identification is Varnashram. Varnashram denotes the followers of the Vedas. This is called Varnashram. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 4.13. These divisions are everywhere because they are created by God. The divisions of society are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Brahmana refers to very intelligent class of the man, those who know what is Brahman. Similarly, the Kshatriyas, the administrator group, are the next intelligent class of men. Then the Vaishyas, the mercantile group. These natural classifications are found everywhere. This is the Vedic principles are accepted as axiomatic truth, for there cannot be any mistake. This is acceptance. For instance, in India, cow dung is accepted as pure, yet cow dung is the stool of an animal. In one place, you will find the Vedic injunction that if you touch a stool, you will have to take a bath immediately. But in other place, it is said that stool of a cow is pure. If you smear cow during dung in an impure place, that place becomes pure. With our ordinary sense, we can argue this is contradictory. Actually, it is contradictory from your point of view, but it is not false. It is a fact. In Calcutta, a very prominent scientist and doctor analyzed cow dung and found that it contains all antiseptic properties. In India, if one person tells another, you must do this, the other party must say, what do you mean? Is this a Vedic injunction that I have to follow you without an argument? Vedic injunctions cannot be interpreted, but ultimately, if you carefully study these injunctions are there, you will find that they all are correct. The Vedas are not compilations of human knowledge.
Okay, just, yeah. So these 2 examples are very important. Vedas are axiomatic, or you can say also Vedas are universal. Means the principle of Varnashrama is universal. Either you go to India or America or Pakistan, anywhere you go, this principle of Varnashram is universal. You will find the 4 kinds of people everywhere. Yes. Now somebody can say my country does not have any Brahmana, so, or does not have Kshatriya. Like nowadays people say there are no Kshatriyas. It's not like that. We need training for Kshatriyas. Then there can be Kshatriyas. For everything there requires training. Then people can be qualified as Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishya, and Sudras. Now, this is a universal truth. Universal means it is found everywhere. Now, the second thing is Prabhupada mentions about cow dung. This example Prabhupada mentions many times. Cow dung is also a stool of an animal, but it is a stool of a cow. And God has designated this dung or a stool as pure. So therefore, in Yagya, also this cow dung is used. As a Panchanamrit also it is used. Even Krishna was bathed with smearing cow dung and then he was bathed. So cow, very holy animal, its existence is with synonymous, or you can say in symbiotic relationship with the man. Without man, cow cannot live, and without cow, man cannot live. Both has to be together. Cow requires food to eat, and see, cow also requires whatever the calf. So therefore, the man requires, she requires someone to take out the milk also from her udder. So therefore, the man and cow, the cow is not meant to live in the jungles. Cow is meant to live with the humans. Go Mata. She is considered as one of the mother, Dhenu. She is the mother. Srila Prabhupada mentions the Brahminical culture cannot be established unless there is a cow protection. There is also, see, Brahmana protection, Brahminical culture protection, okay, but it cannot be done without cow protection, because the miracle food which comes from the cow will be absent. The yagyas cannot be performed without cow. No ghee, no cow urine, no gobar. Then what we'll be doing? The yagya paraphernalia cannot be purified. So this is very, very important. So therefore, Prabhupada here mentions that cow dung as an exception, her stool is totally pure, and it has also been proved by scientists. One, axiomatic means what? Many people say, what do you mean by axiomatic? Axiomatic means even if you are able to prove it. Even if you're not able to prove, you have to accept it. Because the knowledge of the Vedas, conclusion of the Vedas are already researched. No need to perform research on it. But you are not satisfied, you want to perform. But don't come to the wrong conclusion, I am not able to perform, so therefore this statement is wrong. This is not accepted. So this is called axiomatic, means you cannot understand. If you can understand, try to understand. But even if you cannot understand, accept it as it is. That is called axiomatic. It is inherently true. It is like that. Because we have limited senses, we cannot understand. Okay. And Prabhupada mentioned this example. In India, everybody wants Vedic evidence. For anything to do, I don't know how much now people are eager for it. People, they don't want Vedic evidence. People, they want what is the Google evidence. Google में बोला है क्या ऐसा? Google चाहिए उनको अभी तो Google आ गया है. ठीक है. Yes, Prabhuji, you can complete this full.
The Vedas are not compilations. The Vedas are not compilations of human knowledge. Vedic knowledge word from Lord Krishna. Other name of Vedas is Shruti. Shruti refers to that knowledge which is acquired by hearing. It is not experimental knowledge. Shruti is considered to be like a mother. We take so much knowledge from our mother. For example, if you want to know who your father is, who can answer you? Your mother. If the mother says, here is your father, you have to accept it. It is not possible to experiment to find out whether he is your father. Similarly, if you want to know something beyond your experience, beyond your experimental knowledge, beyond the activities of the senses, then you have to accept the Vedas. There is no question of experimenting. It has already been experimented. It is already settled. The version of the mother, for instance, has to be accepted as truth. There is no other way.
So Prabhupada mentions that Shruti is considered mother. Now a child wants to know who is his father, then he has to ask his mother. So we are child of God, and Vedas are mother, and father is Krishna. So then we want to know about Krishna. So then we have to go to Shruti, not that we have to go to the modern books. This is the biggest misfortune. There are two misfortunes. One is we don't have right people or right guru, even though we have the Vedic knowledge, but who will teach us? And second misfortune is many of the things have been lost. The Vedic culture have been lost. Very difficult to establish Varnashrama. Very difficult. People they don't have good things to eat. They don't have right knowledge to live with. So many problems are there. So the Vedas are perfect, they are timeless knowledge, and they are like mother. So we have to ask mother, I want to know what I should do in this situation. Then mother will say, okay, beta, you do this thing. So this is the job of Shruti. Because they are spoken by God and recorded into the book form, now we have a duty to approach Guru and learn from him. Now Srila Prabhupada says, you cannot do experiment of DNA. Now they have found a DNA test. If somebody has to be found out, okay, who is the father of this boy, so then they will do DNA test. So, but how many, if the mother hides the truth, so how many people you have to conduct DNA and how many years it will take DNA test? See, there are some forgery happens or some wrong thing happens. So therefore they conduct DNA test to find out the culprit. But there, some people are fixed, then you can conduct DNA test for some people. But if the person is only not known, किसका लेना DNA, तो क्या पूरे संसार का DNA लेते रहेंगे? So therefore, here it is mentioned that you cannot perform experiment into the whole world. Like it is said, if one has to find out whether man is mortal or immortal, let us find out by seeing all the men. How many years you will live and how many people you will see? Okay, you will see, this person is very good, hatta, katta, ekdam tagda aadmi hai. He will not die. So he will not die, you are saying, but he may die before you or he may die after you. You cannot see him or you may see him. So by your experimental knowledge, you cannot approach the right truth. We are going to learn about the three kinds of evidences. So this we have to understand. See, Vedas, like sometimes mother is very strict also. Like here the Vedas also, they want very strictness. Vedas can only be understood by Brahmanas. Brahmanas means very strict daily schedule has to be there. And they have to really be truthful. Samadama tapa socham शांतिरार्जम एवच ज्ञान विज्ञानम आस्तिक्यम ब्रह्म कर्म स्वभावजन. कितना आसान नहीं है ये सब, ये बहुत मुश्किल चीजें हैं. ब्राह्मण दीक्षा के बाद भी ये मुश्किल चीजें हैं, आसान नहीं होती है, बहुत मुश्किल होती है ना. तो ब्राह्मण बनने के बाद फिर उसको वेद पढ़ने के लिए आज्ञा मिलता है. तो like this. Okay, so I will show you thing. So this is what we just learned, that 4 defects in us. So the first defect is karana pato, means limited senses. Prabhupada said, no, we have imperfect senses or limited senses. That is also called karana pato. Karana means senses. Apato means they are not perfect, they are imperfect, they have some problem. So the first defect is limited senses. Now just see, this is a reality, you want to perceive the reality, but limited senses will not allow. Like earlier there was a training for ध्वनि वेदन. ध्वनि सुन के कैसे वेदना है किसी को. हमने सुना है कि पृथ्वीराज चौहान, he did like that. He just heard, I think Muhammad Gauri or somebody, his mantri told him, this Muhammad Gauri is there, you have to kill him. So then he heard from his ears, he was blinded actually by the Muhammad Gauri, and he heard and then he shot arrow in that direction. So earlier this training was there. Like when you're fighting with somebody can take the sand and then put in your eyes. Then you cannot see. Then can you say, oh, sorry, my eyes became blinded, so I could not fight with him. No, you cannot give excuse in the battlefield. You have to learn the other ways to protect yourself. This is what the training means. Like people may feed you poison, so then you may die, then your whole mission is finished. So then the Guru has to train you that you should not be overcome by poison also. So then he has to feed you poison daily, so that your body will become proper. This was training given. And even Dhvani Vedan also, by hearing you can come to know from where the enemy is coming, and immediately you can become very alert, and then you can fight with him. Or you can Veda, you can aim at the enemy. So these things are there. So the limited senses, so we have the limited senses as it was mentioned. So we cannot know the reality. So many ways. We cannot see, like a telescope, we are seeing all the planets as a round, or we see the sun as a disk. But the sun is not like a disk, but we are seeing from our eyes. So our eyes are always giving the wrong knowledge. Okay, then you can say I will develop telescope, but telescope is also developed by the wrong, by the person whose senses are imperfect. So therefore telescope can help you to some extent, but again it cannot. Again, because it is also depending upon your eyes to take the input and decide. Okay, so limited senses. Then comes the mistake. When our senses are limited, we commit mistakes. Mistakes happens when you are conscious. Yes, like you are counting the notes. Oh, means you are conscious, but again something slipped away, and then you are you are studying, and then milk is kept on the table. Again, your hand went here. Oh, milk fell down. So like this, the mistakes happen. Many times mistakes happen. You had to send some documents to somebody in the mail, and you send the mail document is within your laptop only. It has not been sent. So document तो गया नहीं, mail चला गया. कई बार होता है. कई बार हम बोलते हैं तेरे को मैं कल पैसा दे दूंगा, और कल बीत गया, परसों बीत गया, नरसों बीत गया, बाद में पता लगता है उसको पैसा ही नहीं दिया मैंने. So this is a mistake. है ना? So Brahma, it is called Brahma. Then comes Pramad. Pramad means illusion, means you are not conscious. We are not conscious that I'm a body or I'm a soul. Means we know that, means even the consciousness of the body many times is illusory. बहुत बार illusory होता है बॉडी का भी consciousness. हमें समझ में नहीं आता कि हम हैं कौन. कभी बार इतना कंफ्यूज, बिकॉज कभी कभी हम विद्वानों की तरह बात करते, कभी मूर्खों की तरह बात करते. हम सोचते अरे मैं विद्वान हूं कि मूर्ख हूं, मैं समझ में नहीं आता. तो हमें अपने ऊपर ही कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है. तो ये इल्यूजन है, बिकॉज आपका रियल नॉलेज ही कवर्ड है, तो आप कुछ नहीं बोल सकते. ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ अनट्रुथ, इवन इफ यू मेक कैशल्स, इट विल नॉट रिमेन. तो अगर हम बॉडी के लेवल पे कितना भी ऊपर जाएंगे, वो हमें धोखा देने ही वाला है, क्योंकि बॉडी तो निकल जाएगा तो सब उड़ जाएगा, खत्म. तो दिस इज द इल्यूजन. Then the last, because of limited senses, we commit mistakes. Because of mistakes, we have a tendency to get illusion. Srila Prabhupada mentions this in sequence at some other place. And so because of we are illusion, we do cheating also, vipralipsa. So we do cheating. Cheating to, like in our laboratory, we say that result has come, madam. ये titration का इतना आ गया है, acid base को मिला के इतने जगह पे इतना ml एसिड इतना बेस लिया तो साइट्रेशन हो गया, और हमको पता भी नहीं है, हमने बस कॉपी किसी का चेप लिया और लिख दिया, चीटिंग करके पास हो गए हम लोग. हर जगह चीटिंग होता है. कभी कोई भक्ति शास्त्री में लोग चीटिंग करते हैं, ऑनलाइन ओपन बुक ले लिया, लिख दिया, पास हो गए. That also happened. So at least Bhakti Shastri should not happen. After learning Vipralipsa, we should not be under Vipralipsa. See, among these 4 defects, even though you may say that, but Prabhuji, we have these 4 defects, what to do? But therefore we are taught here. Even though you have 4 defects, you are a soul, and you are given knowledge. So now you are given choice whether you want to be under these 4 defects or you want to overcome these 4 defects. You are given choice now. We are under 4 defects, but with knowledge, because we are soul, we are never under 4 defects as a soul. So knowledge, the higher person, we are higher person, we are covered by the inferior energy. So there is incompatibility. So the knowledge is given to overcome this incompatibility and this all 4 defects. That's why knowledge is given. So somebody cannot say that what to be done, I am conditioned. We are conditioned, but we have to attain knowledge from right source. That is called right source, oral reception, that is called Shruti. And so we can overcome this. So Darwin's theory, Prabhupada has mentioned many times. Darwin, he said that we have come from monkeys. So he also thought that, okay, how to understand Darwin? Now Darwin, he could not accept that there is God, there is a creator. Actually, he was believer earlier, but some bad thing happened in his life, and then he thought God is not. Because you know that Harold Krishna, he wrote a book, why bad things happen to good people, inspired by him, his philosophy, or the people of such kind of philosophy. Darwin also thought actually the creator is not very strong. He is not very powerful. Even though he may be merciful, he is not very powerful. So then he thought there is no God. Actually, everything is evolving. एक एक करके उत्क्रांत हो रहा है उसके अंदर, evolve हो रहा है. तो उन्होंने बोला भाई भगवान नहीं है, तो फिर कौन है सब कुछ? Then he thought that actually nature is supreme. Therefore you find in science books nature is supreme. They say nature is supreme. God is not there, nature is there, they say. And then he devised a philosophy that चूहे से घोड़ा और भालू से मछली. चूहे से घोड़ा बन जाता, चूहा भी छोटा है, वो भाग 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 के घोड़ा बन जाएगा कल को. और भालू है, वो पानी में तैरना सीख जाएगा तो कल को वेल मछली बन जाएगा. ये किसने बोला? डार्विन ने. ये बच्चों की कहानी हमारी बुकों में पढ़ाई जाती है 8वीं 9वीं की क्लास में. तो बच्चों की कहानी है, लेकिन हम इसको सत्य मानते थे. हमने इसको सत्य मानना, पढ़ाई किया और पास भी हो गए. बट अभी मेनी डिसअप्रूवल हैज ऑलरेडी कम, Darwin's theory. So then he got illusioned. He could not understand that you cannot see the truth. Like you cannot see the all men's dying, but man is mortal. सबको पता है man मरने वाला, वेदों में दिया है. In the similar way, you cannot see every species and then want to come over, want to know that okay, ये चूहा कहाँ से आया है, ये बिल्ली कहाँ से आया है. आप हर एक स्पीसीज को स्टडी कैसे करोगे? आपको तो पता ही नहीं कितने स्पीसीज है पहले तो. So he was going through that way, and then he said कि यूनिसेलुलर से मल्टी सेलुलर आते हैं, ऐसे सब ऑर्गेनिज्म के नाम लिए थे. क्योंकि हमारी आंखें बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स हैं, तो जो छोटे छोटे जानवर उनकी कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं होगी या ऑर्गेनिज्म, तो देयरफॉर मेरी आंखें कैसे कॉम्प्लेक्स बन गई? क्योंकि इवोल्यूशन हुआ है. लेकिन जब पाया गया रिसर्च करके, तो इवन छोटे ऑर्गेनिज्म की भी जो चीजें थी वो भी बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स थी. तो डार्विन को हक्का बक्का हो गया. डार्विन को समझ में नहीं क्या करना है. तो डार्विन ने बोला सारे खोद, धरती को खोद डालो, जितने भी फॉसिल से निकालो और प्रूफ करके दिखाओ कि कैसे बंदर से मनुष्य आया है, हाथी से मछली आई है, हाथी से या बियर से मछली आया है, प्रूव करके दिखाओ. उन्होंने 20 मिलियन फॉसिल्स खोद के निकाले डार्विन की खुशी के लिए. उसके चेलों ने पूरे खोद दिए. His all followers they did, but they found out that Darwin said that monkeys were before and humans came later, but they found that the even fossils of monkey and humans, they were found at the same level in the earth. So then Darwin was confused. ये क्या हो रहा है? And they also found that there was no connecting link between monkey and man. अरे जैसे if a monkey has a tail, the tail should come, its tail is this much long, so then it should decrease as the monkey is progressing towards human. So that was also not found. So then his followers thought, let us do something else. Cheating propensity. What we'll do, we'll take chisel and we'll chisel the fossils so that make it understand that the monkey से मनुष्य है. तो फिर monkey के head को लेके उसको जबड़े को चीजल कर करके ऐसा प्रूफ किया कि वो monkey इंसान बन रहा है. ये हमारे साइंटिस्टों की हिस्ट्री है. That was also disapproved. Later it was disapproved. So they tried to prove it through many ways, but they were frustrated because they did not approach the mother, Shruti. They thought that we will understand everything through our own senses. This was their mistake. So Darwin, very famous. All 4 defects are found in him. He's a famous example. सभी चारों defects मिल गए डार्विन के अंदर. Illusion, cheating propensity, everything is there. Okay? Oh, sorry. The time has, I have crossed the timing. Sorry. So tomorrow is a festival. Gopal Kis Goswami Maharaj is coming into our NVCC temple for book distribution, prize distribution for book distribution. So tomorrow, as you must have all been told, that tomorrow class timing will be different, 2:30 to 4:30. Are everyone aware here?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think tomorrow's session is cancelled, I guess, as per the latest message which was posted. I will confirm again, we'll confirm on the group, but I think it's cancelled for tomorrow.
If it is cancelled, we'll meet on next Saturday, and we'll continue this introduction. It is now 4 more sections are remaining, and then we'll also go to the invocation. anyone has any question? Very short. Okay, so we'll end here. So our timing is from 11 to 1 o'clock. Sorry for going 9 minutes more. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhishcha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo ananta koti vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna to everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
We'll end the class.
That was pranam.